Hey everybody, Charlotte here, how are you? Not a planned video, and it's probably only going to be a really quick one. I'm just cooking dinner. So if you've caught some of my previous videos, you'll know that we spend a lot of time outside. Walking is always my recommendation. It brings me down, it relaxes me, and because of that, I feel really shiny. I mean, I am in my kitchen now and we've got like spotlights, so that might be it. Because of that, we're getting a dog. Now, when I was pregnant, obviously I was pregnant through IVF, and the cycle that resulted in Remy, we'd had 2 cycles within 6 months. And I had a really bad reaction to my auntie's dogs, to the point that my chest was really tight, I couldn't breathe. And it didn't just sort of go as soon as I went home. It took me about 2 days to feel a lot better and not be wheezy and be able to go up and down the stairs comfortably and things. So I was quite heavily pregnant, and at the time I just put it down to that. So fast forward a little bit, like Remy's 5.5 now, and I wouldn't say I'm as bad as I was when I was pregnant, but the allergy or sensitivity has always been there since. Now, why are we getting a dog? Because Remy's an only child, and it just hasn't happened for us since with having another child, me in my mom guilt agreed to a dog, and just thought, oh, there'll be some way of me dealing with this. And you know, I'm very much as natural as possible with things like that. Sorry, I'm just going to turn my dryer off. I realised that my clothes dryer is on. So I thought, okay, I'm going to make this as natural as possible. So I contacted some people for some allergy testing and allergists and homeopath people. And I've had a really interesting conversation with a lady today who I'm going to have a session with on Monday virtually, may I add. We all know about Corona. And she was basically going more in depth into how IVF can affect the immune system, and really throw everything out, and was saying that basically, obviously, our bodies naturally shouldn't be allergic to anything. It comes from generally something being out of line or out of balance, and that it could have still been from the IVF. Now, my IVF when I was pregnant with Remy was 6 years ago. So the thought and the fact that that could still be affecting me, and she was saying, do you have any problems with like your gut health? And it's took me years, and 2020 is really the year that I took it into my own hands. And some of you may have seen that I said that I changed to oat milk and I try and avoid dairy as much as I can. It's the milk specifically for me that really triggers me. So I sort of took a lot of it into my own hands and just did some of my own testing and analysis and things like that. And she was like, you know, generally if your gut health's out, something else is out, and we need to start building up your immune system, and has gone through with me how she can do that in multiple stages. And there'll be a stage when the dog's here that we can do that about the hair and the dander and the saliva and all of that. But I just found it really interesting that my IVF was 6 years ago, and the cycle before that was 7 years ago, and that's still having an effect on my immune system now. And if you follow me, you'll know that I go walking every day. It's not like I'm really physically unfit. Could probably do with losing a stone or 2, but I'm not, you know, I'm not excessively unfit or unhealthy. You know, we eat quite well as a family. I'm not going to say we don't have the odd takeaway like most people, but we eat pretty well. So my blood pressure and everything's fine. And when you think about the effect that that can still be having 6 or 7 years later, I just thought it was really interesting, and I thought that it was quite an interesting fact to be able to share with you guys as well. So I know there's people on here who've had treatment a year ago, 2 years ago, 10 years ago, and whether it be failed or successful, it still had an effect on our immune system. And when I was talking to my husband about it this afternoon, I said, well, it's understandable, isn't it? Because with IVF, we're almost shutting everything down to start again and be in someone else's control, and, you know, they're controlling our bodies. So therefore, does our immune system ever really recover? when we've been on something like that and something that drastic and had something that drastic done. And for me, I've had now 4 laparoscopies, and I'm just waiting for either a hysterectomy or another form of surgery to help, because my periods just aren't getting any better. So how much is it affecting our immune system? And I just thought it was interesting. So I will let you know how I get on Monday. And I just wanted to share the fact with you, really. So take care, have a good evening.